to you live from the San Francisco Bay Area.
I'm ready.
It's time for Zig in the Zone with Ralph, Zig, Tyko.
Wow, sounds like a Mack truck went by you right when I sent you over. What's happening? Good morning, Ralph, Zig, Tyko.
Hey, good morning, Paulie. We are blessed today. I'll tell you about our special guest. He's a returning guy, and he's got guts because he and I are both Mets fans, and we have the guts to show our face these days. And Paulie, let me just say it's Robert Cole, the old Met guy from Comfortably Zoned. How are you?
Good. That's why I grew the beard, so I didn't have to show my face.
Oh, well, now, yeah, big surprise. Big surprise. Let me get to Paulie first, and then I'll come back to you. I just want to make sure you're okay, Paul.
I love it. No, I'm back, but it's funny because now we get your shoes again. I love this.
Oh,
fuck.
We
It's okay. We've been doing it for how many years now? But I'm with my wife. Can you see? I've got my wife with me.
You better behave yourself then, Paulie.
Oh, well, no,
Christine.
I never can behave myself. No, I can never behave myself. So they're saying I better behave myself since you're here. Yeah, good luck with that. So, my lovely wife, there she goes. She's going to work.
All right.
Somebody's got to make money in this family, and it sure ain't flipping this. It ain't the starving comic out here. That's for damn sure. So joining us is Robert Cole. And look, holy smokes, we got Zig back on the screen. That didn't take an act of Congress.
Well, I just turned the phone over, and if I'm not centered properly, you'll excuse me. And Paulie, give me an update on the studio, Edge Studio, and the work that you do, because you're the best producer in San Francisco. That's just an editorial comment.
Oh, well, that's sweet of you, and it's a great segue. We're having a fire sale. Everything must go. No, I'm just kidding. What are we doing? What the hell is happening with Edge Studios? We're barely adrift. Because I thinned the herd because of our building sale a couple months ago, and I haven't restocked the farm, and so we're really getting by very. Actually, I'm in debt right now again. Not too far in debt, but I was really far in debt. Then I got us out of debt, and then now we're in the hole a little bit again. So it's always a struggle with Edge Studios.
Hey, maybe I can help.
Okay, go ahead.
Maybe I can help.
Please.
I'm just going to implore all the regular users to ask your friends whether or not they'd like to get the word out like we do.
Oh, that's funny because that's funny. You're calling your viewers users. It's almost like Zig in the Zone's a drug. That's kind of cool.
Well,
it is.
It would be the best drug in the house. The best I have, because that's all I can offer. But no, there are a bunch of folks.
Right.
There are a bunch of folks out there who never even considered being a podcaster. And if you have, or if you want to look at it, call Paul, email him, let him know, and he'll tell you whether or not it might be a good fit for you. For me, it's cathartic. I love kibitzing, and once a week I get to talk to Paulie and/or some guests that I really enjoy. And That's my pitch for Edge Studios. How
And
about
I just
that?
looked up again, and you got the camera going the other way. We're doing great with the pitches today and the cameras, but that's okay. There you go. Wow, you're able to flip it, boy. Look at you go.
What a
Holy
guy.
smokes. Look at you.
Well, I'm a technician.
I
There
think
you are.
I would rather look at the seat cover than you, Ralph.
Oh,
I can't blame you.
Didn't they use it? Wasn't that a euphemism back in the day? They'd say if you were on a CB radio, they'd go, "Oh, you got a good looking seat cover there." If you had a girlfriend with you,
Right. Right. That is true.
You got a good looking seat cover there, Big Bear.
Hey, tell us a nice story. Christine was just on. You guys have a 25-year love affair. Tell me a little bit about it.
And 3 years of a lot of hate. No, I'm just kidding. So
I didn't say it was
they're just
in a
mixed
row.
in there. They're sprinkled in there a little bit. No, I'm kidding.
Never hate.
Never hate. No, we love each other, as you can tell. We're 26 years into this science experiment gone wrong. So tell us about Christine and I. Boy, that's a relationship that just gets better. I know what they mean by better with age, with wine, like wine, right? Because I know that in our 26 years that things have been all over the place. But now I'm at a place in our relationship. I hope she is too. That every day the love grows stronger and stronger, and we look for ways to make each other happy while supporting each other. And so there's days where we both have our days, but hopefully they don't both happen on the same time, but that happens too. But we're there to support each other, get through it, and also when I hear that old saying, "Oh, we are our own best friends," my wife's my best friend, kind of thing. I get it. I heard a lot of people say, "Oh, that's ridiculous. You can't go play video games with your wife, or you can't go bowling with your wife, or you can't go, all these whatever." And it's like, really? My wife has a better bowling average than I. We used to, in the very beginning of our relationship, we used to go to the batting cages and go hit balls. And she had a good eye on her. She had a great swing. And so there was days where I wasn't hitting as well as she was. And in the beginning of our relationship, we were very active. We're still pretty active. Even like this last weekend, we did an event at the church. And I think it was halfway through my day, my watch told me, "You've doubled your steps, you've doubled your miles." And I'm like, wow, I've been really kind of lazy, apparently, because I can't believe that halfway through that day that I had already done what I've done on most days. So, I think it's a love that grows, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'm very blessed, and I'm very happy, and I'm very fortunate because I know a lot of people that have been together as long as I have and can't stand the sight of each other, or shouldn't be in the same room with each other. And it's like, why are you guys still together? And no, I'm not saying this is a shout out to my parents. Hi. But I'm just saying. I know I'm full of some real dry humor today. I'm getting ready for tonight's show. Yes, I am. One thing I found the other day, which I'm going to mention now since I have the camera on me, you never got to look through all these. These are some of the tops buttons I got you.
I know.
And they're all the different players, and I don't even know some of these guys. But this was, I forget what year it was.
Well, I'll tell you what, you bring them back, and I'll get a good container for them so they're not all over the van.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
those are really cool. They're like little.
Thank you. Yeah, I just wasn't in a position to accept them, knowing that if I didn't have a proper container, there'd be problems.
Yeah,
So,
I was trying to give them to you in a ripped bag. So I get you.
right.
And what I'll do is I'll go all out and I'll drive by the dollar store today and find a perfect container that will seal those. It'll be like a Tupperware container to put them in. So
How about a frame?
How about a frame? There you go. That might be an idea because they could kind of be framed. They're kind of you'd have 3 of them. You'd have 3 8x10s or whatever framed. So that'd be kind of cool. Maybe you could do that. That'd be neat. So all right. So we're back. We're actually having a show here. Robert Cole. Wow. He's not lying about you. You're looking a lot like David Letterman.
No, I wish I had his bank account.
Oh yeah, don't we all? But I would be proud of that coif. That's crazy looking. That's great. That took you a while. We haven't talked to you for over a year on air, right?
Yeah, yes, that's true. Correct.
So then catch us up on everything Robert Cole. What are you doing, dude?
Well, started a little business, where I'm selling baseball cards, Pokemon cards, all that good stuff. And so far it's been very good. And
I kind of started a business like that too. I'm doing the Jeffrey Epstein trading cards.
There you go.
It's all the different billionaires and pedophiles. It's kind of cool. I keep getting the Trump one though. That's like the what do they call it in baseball? That's the common card.
Yeah, it's common card.
It's the common pedophile. It's the common pedophile card in the Jeffrey Epstein collector series. So
hey Robert, in case I forget, send us a link to how we get to you.
Yeah, we'll do.
Are Pokemon cards still? My kid was a Pokemon kid, still is. How many adults are there that keep following it?
Oh, many, many, many adults. I mean,
really?
I've sold a $300 card. I've sold a couple of $250 cards. And these aren't kids that are buying them.
No, the Pokemon craze now. These kids that were collecting Pokemon cards in the 90s are now in their 30s. They're 30 to 40 years old. My kid, I currently own, which is funny because I'm going to say this out loud. Maybe this will give him some incentive. I have my 33, 34-year-old's Pokemon cards from the 90s, early 90s. And there's a lot of them. There's some that aren't open. There's some that are open. There's a lot of, and I bet you a lot of them are nothings like commons, but then there's some really good ones because I remember him getting like ones back then that people really wanted. And I'm guessing if they really wanted them then, they really want them now.
Yeah, because a lot of those cards are first edition cards.
Right.
They have a little stamp, black stamp under the picture that says first edition on it. So that makes them more valuable immediately. And then you have holographic card, which are shiny. They're special cards. And as they say in that one commercial, you're sitting on a gold mine.
Well, it was funny because I was watching a video the other day of it. It could have been a dump truck in any city, any town, USA, but it was a dump truck. It was a garbage truck, and you could tell the garbage man was just throwing the trash can in it to dump it out, kind of thing. It was one of those old ones, and there was a ton of Pokemon cards going in.
Oh, geez!
And the guy goes, "Stop!" And then they backed it all out, got as much of the stuff out, and the guy had like a bin full of Pokemon cards.
Right. I mean, even the ones that you say are common, $2, $3, $5. I mean, all adds up.
Yeah, but some of these cards, if they're like brand new or whatever, they're like some of them will get like $100,000 and stuff.
Certain ones, yeah. Yeah, you got to check to see if you have the magic card.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that. It's kind of like finding a hidden treasure. So that's kind of cool.
Yep.
Where have you been? Where have you been getting your Pokemon cards? Because I know you're not getting them out of your personal collection. Kidding.
I'm actually from some of them on my son's
Oh, there you
collection.
go. There you go. And my
And
son
then,
doesn't talk to me anymore, so well, I won't talk bad about him, but he doesn't talk to me
well,
anymore, so I'll get some of that back rent from him.
well, give me give me his number. I'll talk to him.
Oh, well, no, I've got his cards. He's just he
Oh,
left.
you got him. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I've got his
Talk.
cards. No, he's got to talk to me. I should send him a text. I'm ransoming him your this is the ransom of your Pokemon cards. You have
There
to
you
talk
go.
to me before to get them back.
There you go. Okay.
Although I'm thinking his collection's probably worth more than my relationship with him. No, I didn't say that out loud. I did not say that out loud. Can you guys
No,
take that out in post?
I
All right,
I didn't hear that.
all
I
right,
didn't hear
good.
that.
Hey,
And then,
let me change the subject a little bit
Please.
and stay on the same subject. It's collectibles.
Okay.
Robert and I were both National League fans in 1958 when the Giants and Dodgers both moved.
correct.
I want to ask you, Robert, did you take to the LA Dodgers or like I did with the Giants? Mets weren't around then. And was it easy for you?
Was it easy? No. As a 10-year-old, it was like, later years losing a girlfriend.
No, I didn't mean that. I meant, I didn't mean, was it easy losing the Brooklyn Dodgers? Was it somewhat easy picking up on the LA Dodgers?
Oh, yes, I still follow them because, Duke Snyder, Gil Hodges was still on the team, Junior Gilliam. And I kind
Right.
of, as each of them left the Dodgers, I had less and less, enthusiasm for them. And at just the right time, the Mets came along. So I was able to shift that enthusiasm, from the Dodgers to the Mets fairly easily.
Okay. Let me complete my thought on this. In 1958, I was really pissed at the Giants and baseball. But I was at summer camp and I took to the Milwaukee Braves and started collecting every Milwaukee Brave. And I'll tell you how it came to my biggest thrill with all of this. Years later, I was the Topps rep, and I ran into Del Crandall, who was the catcher for that terrific Milwaukee team.
Right.
And I told him about my collection, long gone, but how I collected Andy Pafko, Frank Torrey. I mean, everybody. And it included Harry Hannebrink. And
Yes.
I said, do you remember Harry Hannebrink? Dale, were you as a teammate? And he said, you're pronouncing it wrong. However ever pronounced it, it wasn't proper. And he got on to talking about those old days. That was very cool. And he was a good guy. I think he passed away.
He did.
Dodgers had, when I covered Tops on the West Coast, they had one of the best minor league organizations, they bring guys in as rovers who would go from team to team and minor league team to team as instructors. And one of the rovers, former players that I met and befriended was John Roseborough,
Yeah.
who, if you remember, not you remember everything, Robert, was hit on the head intentionally by 3 times by Juan Marichal's bat, 3 times.
Yes.
And was not punished, maybe a $500 fine.
Yeah.
Kept him out of the Hall of Fame. But in today's day and age, that's assault and battery. He could have served prison time and should have.
Yes.
And I got the conversation with Roseborough going one day. He says, no. He says, it was after Roseborough had some sort of financial settlement with baseball in order to clear the way for Marichal to go into the Hall of Fame. And allegedly, they were friends at that time, and they had made up. And I said, oh, close friends. Probably as close as anyone I ever knew to someone who had a friendship with someone who had been hit on the head. And he kind of smiled and he says, no, we're okay. I said, and I looked at him, I said, oh yeah. Like, don't bullshit a bullshitter. How could you be friends with a guy like that? But they made it appear as if they had a relationship, and it was all. Remember, Marichal, Hall of Fame pitcher, made a lot of money. Roseborough, great catcher, very good catcher, but mediocre in terms of how he was rewarded by baseball. So it was all unfair, but and then Roseborough just kind of shrugs his shoulders at me and smiles. And there was no fist pumps in those days, but I got a mental fist bump as he walked into the night. And that was another thrill of doing Tops. I got to be close to players that weren't big league in me, former coaches, managers, and what have you, all through the years, and that came from a time when they wouldn't even think of big leaguing anybody. It's a different time in sports. Society has changed. Players live, and by the way, 80% of them are Trumpites. 80%.
Yeah.
Because they're millionaires and they don't know how the common folk live. They live in gated communities. The Dodgers, when they lived in Brooklyn, and I've become really close with Irene Hodges, and I've had her on the podcast, and she tells me how it was. A lot of it I knew, but in the neighborhoods, the players would shop at the stores, and they would be your neighbors. And society was different then. And Robert, I know that you're from the golden age of baseball. it was easy to hero worship at that time.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure, for sure.
and now these guys are absolutely far removed.
Well, don't forget that most of the players didn't make any more money than our fathers did at their jobs.
A little bit more on the average,
Yeah, but not much.
not much. And their careers were, I mean, by nature of the beast, short lived. And the more money they were making, it was easy to see how if they were spending, if they were making a little bit more than our fathers, they were spending a lot more on the lifestyle that was artificial.
By the way, I'm playing some of those photographs from the golden age of baseball next to you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
So if you can see them, they're there.
I can't. All I see is the back of my camera, and my face never looked better to me.
There you go.
So, and I want to commend you too, Robert, on that beard. That is very, very cool. You would be, if you were umpiring today, like you did back in the day, the only bearded umpire. I don't think
Yes, you're right.
Could have you gone all the way up the chain of umpires, Robert, in your day?
I started too late. Okay. If you're not in AAA by the time you're 28, okay, you're never going to make it.
You know, much the same as comedy. I started doing comedy when I was 42, and they didn't tell me then that there are no flashes in the pan, that you got to work at it for 10 years, and that by that time, you know, it's Katie bar the door in terms of how much you could stand doing it. But it's interesting how comedy and baseball, the careers coincide a lot. And Paul, you're still doing comedy and great at it. Do you see? Can you see the relationship that I'm talking about sports athletes and comedians?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I see that there's
The
a
careers,
parallel. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the careers coincide in some way. What it takes to get there is the same in determination, stick-to-itiveness, a lot of
And
brains.
talent, right? And talent. So one thing that you can't fake in baseball or comedy or any of these things is you can't fake talent. If you can't, so in my business, if you don't make people laugh, you're a public speaker, right? And so that's it. And so if you can't make the people laugh, you're no longer a comic. So yeah, the proof's in the pudding. Same thing with baseball. They don't hire you on your looks or your family or this and that. They hire you on your talent and talent alone. And so same thing applies with comedy in that respect. But also I think it's the same dedication, perseverance, a lot of hard knocks in both, right? You have to go through a lot of stuff as any kind of sports player coming up through the ranks. Let's think about it baseball wise. You start off at T-ball, then it's little league, then it's the minors, then it's the majors, and then you get into like ball in school and high school, and all of a sudden you're in college, and next thing is semi-pro, then pro. And so it's not a flip of the switch, and nothing's really handed to you. And so it's everything's earned. It's merit based, if you will. And so yeah, absolutely. What do you think? I mean, there's some other parallels there too, but you guys jump in.
Yeah, well, when Ralph and I were kids, you know, the farm systems went down as deep as D-ball, You had D ball, C ball, B ball, A, double A, triple A. And,
Well, there you go.
They started out maybe $200 a month and $5 a day food money. That's how that started. And it's nowhere like that again now. I mean, even the guys in the lowest and minors, which is A ball, make an okay living. Not a good living, but an okay living.
Yeah.
Right.
There were 16 teams in each organization, minor league teams back in the day that we're talking about. 16 teams. And I just want to elaborate on one thing that that Paul said about you got to have talent. Not only that, you got to develop talent, your own talent. And because most players in the minors have an somewhat equal amount of ability. There are the superstars, standouts right away, but most players, it's what they do in that minor league stint to develop it, to keep at it, to learn. And I just want to say, baseball is more mental than it is physical. That's just an observation.
As Yogi used to say, okay, it's 50% mental, and the other half is talent.
Right.
There's another similarity. They say if you're doing comedy, you're 50% mental. So that's funny.
You forgot to throw in the amental.
Amental, yeah.
All right. Let's take a little break and shut me up. How about that? And we'll get back to Robert, and we'll talk about our New York Mets. And Robert is, for those of you who don't know it, Robert, Marty Rose, and Bernie Rose and I did a Met show on Comfortably Zoned when it was audio once a week for like 4 or 5 years. So we're in on it. We know what's happening. What's happening is a lifetime frustration of being a New York Met fan. Am I right, Robert? Has it been unbelievably up and down?
Oh yeah. And then sometimes even in the modern day, we compare it to the '62 Mets again.
Yeah, the one that did they break the losing streak at 12? If I'm not mistaken,
they broke it at 12, won 2 in a row, and now have lost 3 in a row.
Okay. There is no team that has ever made the playoffs that lost 12 games at any time in a row in that season. So that's just like knowing how it's going to turn out. Paulie, do business, and then we'll come back and chat.
All right, that sounds good to me. I'll get the camera right on me and take your guys' mic off. That's right. We here at Zig in the Zone make it sound like a business or a lawyer firm in itself. Here at Zig in the Zone, we have peace of mind. That's right. We have peace of mind, and we would like you to like and go patronize our sponsors. We'll be back right after this break. Whether it's criminal defense, estate planning, or civil litigation, the answer is the law offices of Andrew Doja. Call us today at 510-865-1600 or find us on the web at dojalaw.com.
For tenant and landlord disputes, there's no other than the law office of Jeff Canberra. Call now 1-510-865-7369 and don't forget to tell them Zig sent you.
All right. And of course, don't forget our stuff, our social media. Go like, subscribe, follow Zig in the Zone on Facebook, Insta, YouTube, and now Twitch. Guys, go like, subscribe, ring that little bell, and whenever a new episode drops, you'll be notified. And then, hey, do you want to do your normal Zig Says today, or do you want to do something totally different? Because, you know, once in a while, when I put that up, which, by the way, I did talk to our fine people over at the Head Start, my local Head Start, and I think I'm going to build a relationship with them. But so, yeah,
because they're an organization that can provide books if you folks out there would box up some new or lightly used children's books, take them to the Head Start program, and give kids a chance of developing a passion, whatever it is, sports, coin collection, Pokemon, whatever it is, early on. And I flashed on this when I was in the 4th grade. The guidance counselor, I don't know if they called it then, told my mother that I had an 8th grade reading ability. And my mother, the guidance counselor, and I agreed that I'll never have any real problems in life, no matter what my education is. Formally, I could pick up on education by reading. I could fill in the blanks, and made for a better life, being able to read and having a passion. So I encourage you to get neighbors to do this and enrich your local Head Start program. It's like helping the neighborhood. It's a wonderful thing, because I got news for you. The government under Trump is cutting back on all charities. So, I mean, they cut back. Tell you something about Trump, all you need to know. They canceled cancer research for children. Can you believe that? And he doesn't get impeached. Week after week, we talk about this, but that's another subject. So,
all right. So before I zigzag out of the segment again, the Head Start program. I'm going to have you do a couple things. I'm going to mute your mic, but your camera's flipped. I'm going to do a voiceover for this if it gets me. All right. So the Head Start program, early learning and development, health and wellness, family well-being, family engagement. That's right. The Head Start program, like Zig said, bring some new or lightly loved children's book to your local Head Start program and help a kid get the gift of literacy. Remember, if you read a book to a kid today, they'll be reading it themselves tomorrow, and then they'll be reading it to another child or someone else later. So again, give the gift of literacy. And Zig, I still have your opposite side of your camera, and you need to reset your mic before I bring you back in. And I'm going to come back over to my camera because I can. Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance. But I'll come back in the frame. You do. You look like the Thin Man. Oh, there you go. There's Kilroy. I miss Kilroy. There he is.
I'm a technician again.
There you go.
Hey, Robert, let's talk about the current Mets as much as it disgusts me. what was your view on letting Alonso walk?
I expected it because the GM doesn't really value first baseman. I think the only reason why he was re-signed last year was that Steve Cohen decided that they were going to re-sign him, but they re-signed him with you know, with guarantees that he could become a free agent again at the end of this year, which he did. And that worries me about Bo Bichette also. I mean, he has that same kind of deal where at the end of the year, he has the option to opt out and become a free agent.
Uh,
And if he has a good season, which we want him to have, chances are he'll walk.
That's the way baseball is today. And that's one of the things that sickens me. What sickens you about the rule changes, um, the way the organizations just stress long ball hitting? You never hear hit and run. You never hear take two and hit to right. You never hear um, any of the things that we hit them where they ain't. You know, all they
Yep.
care about is muscling up, and that ruins the game. Do
Yes,
you
it
agree?
does. Yeah, it used to infuriate me, all these different things. But now I look at it through the lens of, my son, who's 38. And this is for him. I mean, this is his baseball now. Okay. It's not our baseball. Okay. It's totally different.
Good
He
point.
gets it. He gets a he gets a thrill out of watching old tapes that I have. He has fun with that. But the speed of the game and cutting out corners and not having throwing four balls for an intentional walk and starting a guy at second base in extra innings. Uh,
It
you know,
bastardizes the rule book. Even something like changing the diameter of the bases, if you think about it, changes the rule book. And we live by that rule book. Like it was like the Bible. And you know, I know you're a Dodger sympathizer to this day. Um, how do you fit Obama? What's his name? The Japanese guy,
Ohtani.
Otani. How do you fit him in the record book? As a pitcher, as a hitter, as both. Yeah,
Well,
it just changes things. That's
Well,
all.
it bastardizes the game for you and me, Ralph. Okay. But not for my son, not for Paulie's son. Okay. Not for the people,
Yeah,
that have grown up that are, just getting into baseball now. Okay. Doesn't bastardize it for them. This is their baseball. This is them now. And, if either we go along with it or we stop watching.
yeah,
So over the years, I have mellowed. I used to, rant and rave, when every, rule change was made, but that's what it is.
yeah. The runner on
Well, that's
second
that's
in
why I think
extra
that's
innings.
I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I cut you
I'm
off
just going
again.
to say real quickly that the runner at second base in extra innings, when the game is on the line, when it used to be so exciting, we're in extras. They did it to take time away from the game and just not right. That's all.
All right, it's time to put on that new baseball cap you were gonna do. You know, the one that said MBGA, make baseball great again. Go ahead, put that on. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Did I catch? Is that a little too premature? I'm sorry. What is it? Whatever you wanted to call it.
Yeah. Robert, we just see the picture of you.
Okay,
no,
I just.
it's only because he's not talking. That's
Oh,
all.
Oh,
okay.
okay. All right. Besides, I've lost the
Oh,
picture
there
on
we
my
go.
end.
Yeah, now we only see the picture. That's right. You have to put your camera back on. I
Yeah.
see what he's saying.
Let me figure out that.
All right, Ralph, back to you then. Fill
All
that
right.
hole.
I will fill it by saying this. As much as I complain about being a Met fan on some levels, there were some memories that I will take to the grave. The 1969 New York Mets. And when I think of them now, I think of Marty Rose,
Yep.
Yeah.
our old partner. He was in Vietnam at the time, and his exposure to those games came from Armed Forces Radio. And I think that's a great um, uh, help to GIs, and it's still out there. As a matter of fact, Sports Nightly has me as a guest every now and again, and they're syndicated on that channel. And I really get a kick out of talking to the vets who are often some bumfuck Egypt. We always have something going on. So there's some good things in life, unless Trump gets a hold of that. He probably doesn't even know it exists, or he would have destroyed it.
Oh, yeah,
Just
for sure.
just a guess. Okay, Robert, anything that comes to mind that you want to talk? Your points about the kids. My kid is 36, so it's right in there, and he's a Pokemon kid, and I'll bet we haven't talked about it in a long time. He'll be happy to hear that the prices of these cards are going up
Oh,
because
yeah, for sure.
and he's the kind of kid that doesn't have to sell off like his dad did from time to time his collection. So whatever he's collecting, he will, if he sells it, it'll be voluntary, that kind of thing. It's a good kid.
Right. Well,
And,
there's, right now there's a large move towards anything old. Okay. I've been selling,
not me.
old trucks,
Not, cards, not
and,
podcasters.
not,
No,
no,
no, I have you listed in Marketplace on Facebook. I have you listed. I have it. It's $20 or best offer for Zig. So I think it's fair.
I think I'm overpriced at that. If you make it a 5, I'll come to them.
There you go. You'll drop yourself off. It's a door. It's a doorstop delivery, or what a porch delivery. We'll have you on the porch.
As long as you're in the marketplaces nearby.
Yeah, nearby. We're not shipping you off to China, putting you in a box with some holes in it. We're not doing that.
no, he doesn't want to go to China.
No.
That's disappointing on some level.
I hear they have baseball.
Yeah,
Sorry.
oh yes they do. Yes they do.
All right, but back to before I cut Robert off. So they're making a lot of money in this stuff, and you're still selling. Are you kind of reinvesting and getting more cards, or how? Because
Yes,
your son's collection's going to run off sooner or later.
Oh yeah, no, I go on the different auction sites.
Right.
Okay, online auction sites, and I go in and I kind of cherry pick. Something will go up. I have a limit of $10. I won't go any further than $10. And sometimes you get lucky and nobody else is watching at that moment, and you pick up, collection it for $1, or for $5. And that's basically how I'm doing it now. And another way of doing it is buying garage, old storage units.
Right.
The storage unit centers, if you don't pay your rent after a certain amount of time, they auction
I'm
that
hip.
off.
I'm hip.
Yeah, I'm hip. Yeah, you is.
Mm.
So,
So yeah, go ahead, guys.
there's
We
a,
converged
there's,
on the same intersection. Go
yeah,
ahead.
there's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different things. If people have old comic books, okay, they're worth a fortune now. Certain
vinyl
baseball cards,
records. Vinyl records.
yes, vinyl records are.
Oh, even
Anything,
I was just reading something the other day. Now cassettes are making a big comeback.
Oh
yes,
wow.
anything,
Cassettes and VHSs, and I'm like, really? Okay.
anything that you can put the word vintage in front of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We
If you
used
can
to
put,
call it trash. Now it's called vintage. Right.
correct.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
with Ralph's
I'm
picture, it says vintage in front of it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a website, Vintage Old Jew, and
There you go.
$5 or more.
There you go.
Now it's funny,
Uh,
Ralph. Okay, there's also a site on Facebook. Okay, from the Catskill Mountains and all the bungalows and resorts and all the different things, and it's very interesting. Just to listen to the people reminiscing about the 40s and 50s and 60s in the Catskill Mountains.
I belong to a Kittatinny Camp website on Facebook, just the same. Bunch of AKs just rapping like we do, just
Right.
having the memories. And people say, well, what about your podcast? It's fresh and new. Memories are always fresh. So if we could discuss that, um,
Okay. All right.
all right.
So
Hey,
yeah, but let's discuss that.
let's discuss cameras being off.
No, not that. What you had said before I had told him that. I was off mic. Nobody knew I said that.
Oh,
That's how professional I am.
and that's how professional I am too. I
Oh, I
pick up
know.
on things right away.
No,
Hey,
you had
Robert,
said something before I said that off mic. I'm sorry. I was trying to get him back into
I
your
don't even
question.
remember what it was. I want to find out from Robert who took you to your first games.
Oh, my father.
Okay.
My father took me to our first games. He uh, he was an office manager for a law firm, and he would get occasional gimmies from some of the clients and stuff. So we would get really nice seats at Ebbets Field. Um, Same thing with the Polo Grounds when the Mets first went over there, and it was good. It was fun. I didn't realize how fortunate I was.
Yeah. He loved it himself. Did he?
He did. He
Or
was a
he
big
was
he,
just
he
oh
was a big
good.
Brooklyn Dodger fan. Big Brooklyn Dodger fan. And when they moved, uh, he kind of lost the passion. He tried to keep it alive for me, but he just, he lost the passion. He said that it was, like losing his first girlfriend, and he couldn't bear getting another one.
Yeah. You and I were 10 and 11 years old, and it really stung. And that's why, for one reason or another, I collected the Milwaukee Braves 58. If you could find a team set of that team, the 58 Braves, I'll buy it from you.
Okay, I'll keep my eyes open.
Keep your eyes open.
Do you want Okay, do you want that
Harry
particular
Adam,
year, the 58 year?
58 year. I
Okay.
think it's the best set the Tops ever put out because it was the most inclusive set. Everybody was included. That
Yeah,
I
my
mean,
favorite my favorite set is the 57 set.
beautiful. Physically, it's nicer,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Yes, visually it is. All of the photos were taken in
at the Polo Grounds,
Either Ebbets Field, the Polo Grounds, or the old Yankee Stadium, and
right?
that's what made it special.
Yeah. Hey, do you remember, Robert, the photo was yours on Sunday in spring training? This was after the Giants and Dodgers left, but they'd have pictorials, color pictorials of the Yankees in spring training.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I
The new,
love those editions.
yeah. Well, the Daily News, the colors, that little
Yeah, Daily.
magazine.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
they used to do it for the Dodgers, the Giants, and the Yankees. Just before the season started, they would have color pictures of the three teams. And the Yankees and the Dodgers used to have a 3 game exhibition series just before the season started.
yeah, and ironically, I cut when you said that the exhibition season in '54, the Indians and the Giants were both out west, and they played each other a lot of games,
Yes.
and which made for the Giants believing that although in the World Series the Indians were heavily favored, Giants knew that they had their number, and they did.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so an exhibition, and it was different then. You were fighting for a job, and
Yes. Yes.
things are decided now. The makeup of a roster is pretty well decided before you get to spring training. And they didn't have those races for the 26th or 25th guy. Um, I miss the way it used to be, but you said it best. Still baseball. Uh,
Still
uh,
baseball, but it's not our baseball. It's our son's baseball.
that's right. That's right. And in a sense, that's okay. When you think about it, you want things to be for your kids better than you had it as an adult. And if that's what makes it different, better, speed it up a little bit. Just don't put the fucking runner on second base.
Yeah.
And
But okay, back when Bucky Showalter was managing the Mets a couple of years, and something would happen on the field, and somebody would say, "Gee, Bucky, in your day, you wouldn't put up with that." And Showalter said, "What I do when something like that happens, I look up and down my dugout, and if the players aren't upset by it, then I'm not upset by it. If they get upset by it, it means something." And I've always remembered that saying, and it's true. It's not like it used to be.
hey, is there any chance of getting Showalter back as the manager?
No, no, that ship sailed. Okay,
Okay.
I don't think he would want to be back with the Mets either.
Yeah. I know Collins came close at one time to coming back, in rumors at least.
Yeah,
Um,
it's hard for those guys. What the New York Post is blabbing about today is that the Mets should jump on hiring Joey Cora. I mean Alex Cora, before the Phillies hire him. Now, Mendoza hasn't been fired yet, but it's if they lose 2 out of 3 or get swept by the Nationals, I don't think he'll be going on the next road trip with them.
Well, it's always said because managing is such a subjective, not objective case. Does the manager, is it his fault? Does he just not have the players? Are the front office blaming him? But you know what? With this manager, it's obvious he's like a deer in the headlights.
Yes,
Seems like a good guy, and would
No,
probably make be benefited by the experience of being a bench coach, and he can come back in 5 years to manage again. Not a bad guy, but it's just not working.
right.
Uh,
Yeah, and supposedly he's lost touch in the clubhouse. I don't know if that's true or not. The writers like to make a big deal out of things and cause controversy. But who knows?
what is the case with wives of the players on the Mets? Like Lindor's wife was political, and didn't they have some sort of controversy over that?
Yeah, there's been controversy over different things. That's one of the reasons why Alonso was allowed to leave. Different things like that. Uh, I don't know if the GM is going to make it much more. He's tried to change the team and in the image of the Milwaukee team, and it hasn't worked for the Mets.
Yeah, we will see. How we doing time-wise, Paul?
We are at 103, sir. 103.
Don't I always hit it right on the head, almost?
That's right. That is correct, sir.
Okay. Would you promise to come back and much quicker than you did last time, Paul?
Well, like you did yesterday, give me a call, and if I'm around, which I probably will be, I'd be happy to.
Good. And you're staying healthy, am I correct?
For a broken down 78-year-old, yes, relatively.
Okay. Because we're as old as the president. And can you imagine if we were as screwed up as he is mentally and physically?
Oh yeah, I look at him and I feel good.
Yeah, good. Paulie, anything else going?
No, I think that's it, sir. We're getting pretty close to the end. Yeah, I guess. So I found myself. I'm not a. How do I say this? I don't want to say I'm not a religious man. I'm a spiritual person, but I've been going to church now for a while, and I've always believed in Christ or whatever, some higher power, because I used to joke I used to pray to George Carlin, and you know that, and so and now I actually I've always known there's a higher power. So what I've been really focusing on now is especially since I heard it in church and I hear it repeatedly, is that you need to like pray and hope for others. And so it's kind of like, don't pray for yourself to win the lottery. Pray for everybody else to win, or pray for somebody that's deserving to win. Same thing with this. I pray for our president, because maybe if he gets the help he needs, no matter where it is, if it's my God, your God, no God, if he gets the help he needs, maybe we will all be better off with, you know, the results. So I'm just hoping and praying for this cabinet and his whole team that
Well,
they're gonna see us through the other side of this and get us through to the election, and we'll do the rest. We'll vote
Well,
this shit out.
I hope there will be an election.
Right. Oh yeah.
yes.
I still have my fears and my doubts about that.
I think if there's
He
not
can
an
use
election,
us.
if there's not an election, there's gonna be a revolution.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, let me say that if there wasn't a revolution to this point over Amendment 25 or impeachment, because God knows he needs it, when are the people going to really take it in their own hands to do something about it? I just curious.
It's very close, Ralph. I don't know
Yeah.
how I don't know how, close you follow, things in the underground, so to speak. It's very close. It's very
Well,
close. It's
and I'm telling
waiting.
you now, folks. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Robert. I cut you
Yeah.
off.
It's waiting to see if there's an election or not.
Well,
And then
that
Paul
would,
said, if there's not an election, there'll be a revolution, and there will be.
All right. Now, I
yeah.
think we're all ready. He's already put in some precursors in to knowing, like I said, polling places, even if it goes through, and he's already trying to stop mail voting. Next, he'll try to stop female voting. No, I'm kidding. He'll try to stop whatever. So, but yeah, you're right. So we just have to push through. We have to speak up. We have to do our duties as citizens. Yeah, there's so many things. Even this, I know we're wrapping things up, but I don't even want to open this can of worms. But even this last weekend with the correspondence dinner, there's so many things there. So we definitely got to pick up this conversation again, guys. Robert, thanks for coming along. Go ahead.
We could stand to get at least a paragraph out of you on that correspondence dinner. Sum it up. What happened in your view?
Oh, you mean, okay, you want me to give the view? Okay, so well, we already know what happened. So first off, he's attending his first ever correspondence dinner as the president. Two, there was not a comedian. There was a mentalist scheduled, which is like kind of a magician, but with steroids. I like the mentalists. Those are kind of cool. I like those guys. But for the White House Correspondents' Meal, yeah, okay. I figured they were to get a right comedian on the right, but they didn't do it. Anyway, so there they are. They're having their salads. They're having their appetizers or whatever, and this gunman rushes the room above them. Didn't get to their floor. Didn't get to the didn't get to the door of the ballroom, but was within very close distance. So many shots rang out. A Secret Service man was hit. We don't know if that was friendly fire or crossfire or whatever you want to call it. Trump, and all the cabinet was rushed out of the room. Of course, the room was full of dignitaries, his cabinet, news and media, A-listers, everybody from actors to other luminaries, I guess, if you want to call it. But anyway, so they whisked him out of the room. They got the guy. And now he's standing trial for assassination of or attempted assassination of the POTUS, plus like discharging a firearm during the something of a crime, and I forget the last charge. Shooting on an officer. No, they didn't get him on that because they don't know if that was his bullet or not. So they got him on like 3 different things, but the one thing carries life. But my main point was, here in 2 years, we've had 3 major assassination attempts on him. which I think there's only been one other president that's had more, which was FDR. But the thing is FDR had 4 terms, which I didn't realize he had 4 terms.
Yes,
So
he
I mean
did.
that was over 4 terms, and he ruffled a lot of feathers with what was his. His wasn't the like Trump's was what the big beautiful bill. His was the big deal, and so he did a few things that ruffled feathers. But again, he did it over a course of 16 years. This is all within 2 years, and we've had these attempts, and I don't condone any kind of violence, definitely not political violence. But the political arena has never been this deadly to be a citizen. And, it was the news secretary or the press secretary for the White House, Caroline Leavitt, that basically called out a whole bunch of other people, like people on the left that had been saying rhetoric. She called it rhetoric and violence talk and stuff like that from people on the left. But it's funny because it's all in reaction to what he's doing. It's his actions that, the only reason we're saying it's an oligarchy or he's acting fascist or he's, it's because of his actions. It's because that he's taking, cancer research away from children. It's because he's taking, child care or whatever from everybody in, Minnesota or Minneapolis or whatever. And so
And how about what Kennedy is doing with vaccines? Kids
right.
have died from the measles since these people.
And then when during his confirmation hearing, so there's a great example. During his confirmation hearing, they asked him point blank, "Are you going to touch these vaccine schedules?" And he said no. And so there he is.
Every one of them lied during their hearings to see whether they would make it to their
the confirmation hearings or whatever, right?
Yeah, every one of them lied. Okay, every one of them did what Trump told them to do, and that's how there's not one of them is qualified to be in their position that they're in.
No, especially Trump himself.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's not just sick physically and mentally. He's fucking evil.
He wasn't picking he wasn't picking a cabinet. He was casting a reality TV show.
Yes.
Good point.
No, well, look at it. No, hold on. I mean, literally. And I'll get the camera on me. So I'll say that again with the camera on me. So when they come in busting through the doors, they know what old white guy to take down. So it was literally, he's not picking a cabinet. He picked a cast of a reality TV show. And what I mean by that is even the district attorney for DC is Janine Pirro. She's the only one that's maybe qualified because she is an attorney.
Yeah, well,
she's not really an attorney, but she was an attorney, but she also was a reality attorney. She was like Nancy Grace. She was the shock jock, and everybody talks about. And then what's his name? Our head of the War Department, Department of War. Not the Department. Hegseth was a anchor on Fox News. Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, was a podcaster, and we know how we feel about them bastards. Oh wait, hold on. And then, sorry.
Well, he's got karma. He lost his job, apparently, and his girlfriend on the same day.
Kash Patel? Is this Kash Patel? Poor guy. Is that the guy that actually, he was chasing her around the globe in the FBI jet going to concerts and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's been officially fired. I don't know.
Okay.
But they talked as if it was.
Oh, and he's kind of on his way out. Yeah.
About Democratic or liberal podcasters, they just say things that are wishful thinking. You know, Trump is on his last legs. He's not going to make it. He always seems to come back.
So
one
thing I noticed last presidency versus this one is the last one, he was firing everybody. If he didn't like them, he fired them. So what he's been doing with these cabinet members, he's reassigning them. It's almost like they're a Catholic priest that was caught with their pants down. They're like reassigning them to another church further away.
Different parish.
Right. Different parish. So that's what they're doing, like with what's her name? I forget. The one lady, they shipped her off. And they've shipped off a couple people, Pam Bondi and stuff like that. Yeah.
And well, these people that
and
he's
Christy
firing,
Nome, they had her be the something to the. They made up a title and transferred her there, which was not in the middle of that Minneapolis thing, right? So
well, they don't want him to get into a pissing match with these people that he fired because they know where the bodies are buried, and that's part of it. The whole thing is unbelievably corrupt. I'm tired of talking about it for today, but I enjoyed you, Robert, and you, Paul, so much. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Come back anytime. Just give me a shout.
Okay.
Okay, and wait, let's get your camera on you now. Oh, there you go. And Robert, tell us, read, anything you want to shout out or say hi to anybody or whatever.
No. The only thing I say is miss Marty Rose quite a lot.
Oh yeah. The show was just not the same when he left, and our lives, my life in particular, know him since second grade. I mean, lived the next building over in the same apartment number, 201 in Jackson Heights. Went to the Y at 10 years old. They let us go on the bus alone. If he makes it, he doesn't make it. But it was different. The city was different. No question, we miss him.
Yep.
Let me just end the way I generally ended. I implore people to keep your humor dry. Keep your I don't even want to go on with it today. Just keep a sense of humor about you. And keep your dreams wet. Keep your kids off the laps of clerics and other people in a religious dress. And most importantly, keep your kids out of, especially today, they're reinstating the draft. Keep your kids out of recruiting officers. I mean, it gets to be the parents' fault when the kids enlist sometimes. And don't want to see anybody hurt unnecessarily. Love you guys for listening. And thank you again, Paul. And
Robert, thanks for joining us, and definitely come back sooner than later.
Okay. Will do.
Sooner than I can get it out.
Night.
All right, man. We'll see you guys. Okay. Have a great week. Until next week, we'll see you in the zone, guys. Bye.
All right.
Bye.